where visionaries, entrepreneurs, and artists dream, transform, and create. You are listening to the Miracle Moment podcast, where your breakthrough is a moment away. I'm your host, Irelan. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Miracle Moment. Today, we have a special guest, Tasha Wall, and she is the psychic supermodel that is a master channel, healer, and hot body coach. She specializes in helping women create their dream body, brand, and bank account by healing what's inside and converting it into material wealth. And I have been following Tasha for maybe about a year or so, but I've really just been drawn to your dynamic presence. That's really the words that come forward. And so I'm excited, looking forward to this conversation to hear a little bit more about what's kind of going on behind the scenes to create that. And another thing that I want to dive into is really the connection between men, sex, and wealth and money. So thank you so much for being on here.
Yay, thank you. I'm so excited to dive in.
So let's just start off with a little bit of your story. What's your background and how did you get to becoming, I love the phrase, the psychic supermodel?
Yeah, oh my God. It's been okay. So I think with being a non-niched brand, like I've got many things that I teach on, right? Food and fitness is my fundamental, it's my foundation. So my whole business is built off the foundation of body being the pillar of the foundation. And actually, this is one of the things I would say to anyone who wants to be like non-niched is there still should be somewhat of a foundation. Do you know what I mean? Like if your business was a tree, what is the trunk of the tree? And can you get the trunk of the tree really stable and then have your branches that come out? It's a lot harder. Like I don't know if I would recommend someone to just come out the door with like all these different things. Let's build the foundation really strong. So like for me, body was mine. But here's the thing is my body issues were always linked to men and sex. And so of course I ended up branching off into sex once my relationship with food and, eating, because I'm a recovered binge eater. That's kind of how it came. So I had found myself essentially starving myself, like not really knowing I was, but I was, and then binging. And so the root of all of that, of course, there was the practical stuff. Let's start eating healthy. Let's start going to the gym. But the root always came from men, always came from men. And like the pressure to overperform or the pressure to be prettier, or the pressure to be hotter. And that was really how it all started. Was I lost like 35 pounds after this guy broke my heart essentially and cheated on me. And I was like, fuck this. I'm going to be the hottest thing that ever walked the planet of the earth. And then I did my body transformation, which spurred my growth as like a personal trainer and a body coach. And then from then on, it turned into business and masculine and sex and then money.
I love it. Cool. So yeah, I think it's so interesting, the non-niche piece. And I love that visualization of, okay, you have your tree trunk, and that's really helps you stay rooted, and then you can expand from there. So I'm curious, like around that with your journey, like how has it been? When did you know that it was time to maybe change what you were sharing, and you're like, oh, I'm inspired. Like you said, okay, I don't want to just do food and fitness anymore. I want to talk about men now. Now I want to talk about money. Like when was the point in your business where it felt safe and secure to actually kind of let maybe a piece go and focus on something new? Or did you even let it go? Or did you just add in another branch? What did that look like for you, that process?
Yeah, it was usually like my own growth, right? So you'll find that when you're fully healed, you'll just get bored of talking about it because you're not healing it anymore. Do you know what I mean? You'll be like, and this is where entrepreneurs go wrong. And it's not that you can't do this, but instead of adding on to the business, they blow up the old one. Like, fuck this. I hate this. It's so annoying. It's boring. I'm annoyed of this. I don't like this type of client. And they blow it up. And instead, my recommendation is turn that into passive income, turn that into pre-recorded courses that you can guide people to. And then your active stuff can be whatever lights you up right now. And that's that ability. You have to be able to hold the old thing and have the new thing. And this is where men comes in, right? You want to look at your breakup patterns, and this will tell you a lot about how you build your business. So if your breakup patterns are like, I cut the guy off, I say, fuck him, I chop off his number, off with his head, fuck him because he pushed me to the edge so far that I couldn't handle one little hairline more. And then I had to explode it. And you can look at all your old jobs. Was it that you just decided to quit and walk out one day? Did you hang on too long? And how are you doing that in your business? Or are you blowing up the business like it's an ex-boyfriend instead of like letting him be your sugar daddy while you also find your husband? Like, you kind of want to think of your business like that. Like, you can have boyfriends, you can have sugar daddies, and then you can have husbands, and then you're receiving from all of them.
Wow. Okay. So many light bulbs just went off in my mind. I'm like, yes, yes, yes. And I'm actually thinking about the times when my business was really getting solid. And it's because, and simultaneously, I'm thinking about how I was dealing with my relationships. And that was really when things started shifting. And I stopped doing that cutoff thing with the men in my life. So I'm having massive, like, oh, that totally makes sense. I'm sure our listeners are too. Such a cool way to think about it. So yeah, so what is the like, what would be the next level then? Like when, you're talking about, okay, then when you have your husband or you have that, the thing that you've been really craving and desiring, what do you do with the rest of it? Or you find you're like, this is the program that is everything for me. Like, do you just kind of keep it around, or what is your flow for that?
Yeah. So here's the thing. It's like when you are niched and when you're starting off, you have somewhat of a focus, right? So for me, it was all like body. That was an easy thing to focus on and repeat day after day after day. And your soul is getting something out of that. It's meant to be determined. It's meant to be structured. It's meant to be building strength, right? Mm-hmm. But after a while, you tap out on your amount of strength. You're like, oh, this is boring. And so you want to build on, right? But it's less about focus and more about expansion. So you might, and this is where it's like, okay, every piece of our business kind of represents a piece of us, right? So I've got like my hot body mom stuff, and then I've got men and sex, and then I've got business and strategy, and then I've got like healer. So here is how I like to do it, is I like to look at like, what's my energy right now? And then I connect my offer to what my energy is right now. Mm-hmm. So like, for example, this is where what doesn't work, what people try to do, and this is why they can't do it. They just like pick one offer and throw it out there. That doesn't work. That will work to an extent. Like that worked for me up to like 10K months. But when I scaled to like 60K, I had a very like strategic approach. So what doesn't work is like, you're over here, you're trying to be a mom, and then you're trying to like pull yourself out of mom vibes and then come into like boss vibes. And it's not working. It's janky. It's not connected. So you want to look at what's going on with you right now and what offer connects to where you're at. You're connecting the offer to where you're at. So if I'm going through a sexual awakening, I sell my sexual awakening program. Mm-hmm. If I am in mom vibes, I sell my mom hot body program. If I am, my mastermind is popping and I'm having a lot of girl chat, I sell my mastermind. You see, I follow the strongest energy that I'm in. I don't pull myself out of the energy and try to connect something to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. So yeah, it feels very just holistic and soulful. A lot of my business is all about soul alignment. And that's exactly what you're speaking on right now, is like, where is your soul? And then create your business from there. Or instead of working to have a life, let your life be your work. And I love the piece around motherhood. And a reason why I asked you to be on this show is because I'm currently in 7.5 months into about becoming a mom for the first time and having my little baby boy here very soon. And I'm feeling all of those shifts happen. And I'm noticing, yeah, like I'm like, I don't want to talk about business right now. I want to talk about relationships and love and family and automation and like,
I love it.
all the other
Congratulations.
things. Thank you.
Yeah.
So it really, I do think that when we use our energy with where it already is at, that also can optimize what we're doing. Because if you're trying to conjure up new energy just to do something that you know might work, or that something that's worked in the past and you're like, okay, that's a secure thing, it actually might become more of a drain or more of an energy leak than what
And
we
it doesn't
imagine.
work. It doesn't fucking work, honestly.
Yeah.
Like the where you let your brain structure what you're gonna do next. Like, oh, okay, I sold this thing and it worked last time. So like let me structure that.
Mhm.
You're building something environmentally. Whereas if you learn how to pull it out of your body, like drop down into your body and see what your body wants to do. Like, for example, let's say if you were gonna, like right now, you're almost in like preparation vibes, right? You're in like
100%.
nurturing and preparation. So you
Yeah.
could use that as a context and literally apply it to anything. So, like if you were a business coach, what you would be talking about is nurturing your audience, preparing them for the love, preparing them for the connection. Like connections are built over time, seeding, feeling what it needs. And then, like, let's say, of course, there's going to be external things you're going to set up to, like, help that. Like maybe you're going to start doing all Voxer programs because you have a baby coming. You don't want to be doing calls. So,
Yeah.
yes, we want to take environmental into consideration, but we want to look at when your business feels stuck, look to your body. When your body feels stuck, look to your business.
Mhm.
Look in your life for clues.
I love that. Yeah, it's so interesting because I think a lot of times I've seen people look to their bodies to transform their businesses, but actually not the other way around as much. So I love that concept of, okay, what's happening in your business? Look to your body and see what is the theme, what is the context that you're living in right now. And so something that you had shared with me earlier, I would love to go deeper into because I thought it was really fascinating, which is the money doesn't go to the woman with the most depth, it goes to the woman who can sell her depth. Can you speak on that a little bit?
Yeah, that was a frustrating code to work through. Oh my God.
Mm.
So
Yeah, I
I
was like, there's
like
a lot here.
Yeah, so I've been in like lots of, we can call them high level containers, this and that, and like around a lot of wealthy women, like multi-millionaires. And I just remember thinking, like, everybody talks about how money is the side effect, but everybody won't stop talking about money. Why? Like literally. And what it is money is this surface level thing, right? Like our soul wants something out of the money. Money, humans created money. Your soul doesn't want money.
Right.
Your human wants money and it decides that. But like, it doesn't matter how deep you go. If you can't speak to the surface, which is the result that you're getting, like, this is where so many women go wrong. They're so good at what they do, but they don't know how to sell it or describe it. They just expect people to like go off a vibe. And a vibe doesn't make me want to pay you. A vibe makes me like you. It makes me follow you. It makes me comment on your post, but it doesn't make me want to pay you.
Right.
So when it comes to paying, especially like, those women who are going to be shoulder to shoulder with you, because like the richer I get, the less I spend, honestly. And that's because I'm not filling any gaps. I'm not filling any holes.
Mm.
Like I'm not purchasing in order to feel a certain way. Like I'm so whole inside.
Yeah.
But rich women are very intentional with their money. And I
Mhm.
want to know, if I'm going to pay you, what are you providing me with? Like, yes, I love your vibe.
Yeah.
Yay. Yay, you. That makes me want to be friends with you. But what's going to make me pay you? And you got to get really precise on, okay, so I help people heal. And then what happens? What does that result in? So
Mhm.
if you help people heal their relationship with sex, like I've heard lots of people say that. Do you know what I mean? Like find a new non-vanilla waffle cone to say that. So what does that look like? Are you having G-spot orgasms? Do you have a juicy vagina? Are you squirting? Are you no longer being self-conscious? Like literally, what are some examples of what that looks like? Like there's a difference between saying, I help you get your dream body and saying, I help you get a snatch waist, perky boobs, a thigh gap, and voluminous, bouncy hair with dewy skin.
Yeah.
Just giving an example. Not that that has to be everyone's dream body, but
Right.
do you see how one feels flat and one is like, ooh, actually, I want that?
Because it paints the visual. Like I can actually see what you're talking about. And, it's for a while I was like, is everyone in my world just visual? Because I feel like everyone I talk to is visual. But I think it's a very important thing to know, especially if you are selling something, is that like work with people's visual senses and create that for them, create that imagery, because that's what we see. We are attracted to social media and Instagram because we love seeing beautiful things or interesting things or weird things, but
Yeah.
we see something already. So if you're painting that vision of kind of like the first one you mentioned of like hot dream bod, it's like, yeah, I don't even see anything. It's just kind of like blank. I'm like still thinking of my body and I'm like, or
Mhm.
in that sort of
Yeah.
case.
You got to meet people where they're at too, right? So, like, for example, I know at this point that it's not about the money. I know it's deeper than that, but I also know that a lot of people aren't aware of that yet. Do you know what I mean? Like, I also know some people are attracted to the money because I was at one point too. At
Mhm.
one point, I was hiring people just for the money. And
Yeah.
I would have never paid 100 grand for someone to be like, I'll help you heal your relationship with masculine. Be like, nah, pass.
Yeah.
Help me get rich.
Yeah.
So, like, can you meet with people where they're at and address the surface level thing and tie it into how it relates to the depth? So,
Mm.
you have to be able to bring that depth to the surface in your marketing. Okay, here's how I help you heal the root, and here's how it's affecting your life today on the surface.
Absolutely. And then you can actually see, okay, that result that would look like XYZ in my life today.
Yeah, like how I gave you the
Mhm.
example of, okay, well, how do you break up with men? And
Mhm.
this is how it's related to how you break up with your business or how you merge on to the next level.
Mhm.
And now you're
Yeah.
like, oh, it's one thing for me to tell you there's a connection between men and money. And it's another thing for me to give an example.
Exactly. Exactly that. So good. So I'm curious in terms of like next level, what's next on your plate? What are you excited about? What's fresh in your world and your business?
I'm actually really excited because I'm gonna start breaking into like other like more mainstream media. So
Hmm.
what happens is we will pinhole ourselves into the coaching industry, and that's like such a big mistake because the coaching industry is shifting as well. And like all of this like hype marketing and this and that, it's just dumb and boring and it doesn't work anymore. And so it's phasing out and like momentum is dying down and it's so pinholing, like I said. So for me, I'm just working on expanding outside of that and setting up strategic ways like anything scaling from beyond $30,000 and up. I'm telling you guys, it's like your business brain.
Mhm.
It's your business brain. It's one thing to show up and have fun and make a little money on the internet. That's like $10,000 and under. That's when
Yeah,
you're a girl having fun, and fun is the most important thing to you, and you just want to be fun and free. That's the
totally.
$10,000 and under. When you start showing up as like, I'm here, I'm on a mission, I have an empire to build, and I'm going to do what it takes,
Mhm.
period. Even if it
Yeah.
kind of sucks for a second, that's that $60,000 plus range. Like, put your
Mhm.
business cap on, figure out how this works. Like, when you look at all the billionaires, multimillionaires, and like big
Mhm.
brands, like Tony Robbins, like Gabby Bernstein, they have a plan. They're not
Yes,
just winging it by the seat of their pants and flailing
totally.
something out there. They're
Mhm.
intentional. Their photos have a purpose, their posts have a purpose, and it all connects to something.
Yes, exactly. And I love that transition out of, okay, this is fun playtime into let's do something real. And I want to just highlight that because a lot of times on this show we're talking about impact. And when you really want to get serious about your impact, and I always break it down. Like you can make a huge impact just in your
family life and the people you live with and your small community. But I know a lot of people that are listening to this have a deep desire for global impact. I know that's what has started me on this whole journey. It was from the very beginning. And so when you have that big of a vision, you got to be ready for the uncomfortable. You got to be ready to step into strategy, learn business. For me, I was a musician and like playing music on the street for pennies. And I'm like, screw this. I know I'm an incredible singer and I'm playing with like the best musicians out there. Why are we on a street corner right now? I need to learn business. And that's what got me deep into the zone of strategy and structure and business and organization. And it's just going to make your life easier. So definitely want to highlight that piece because I think so often it's like, just keep flowing, keep feeling. And we're talking in this conversation about your business and your body. And so there can be a little bit of this like resistance because like, well, that doesn't feel good in my body. And it's like, well, going to the gym is not supposed to feel good, but you can actually change that association so you can feel good while you're lifting up heavier weight, while you're struggling, while you maybe even fail and like fall. That can actually feel good because you know you're working towards that bigger mission, that bigger impact.
I love your story too about like basically because you always had the voice, right? But you had to figure out how to make your voice fucking go somewhere. Like, of course, you can be the beautiful voice singing that everyone stops and like, oh my God, here's some pennies.
Right.
But when it comes to like the platform, you got to be smart.
Yeah.
And you did just that.
Your platform. It was my choice. And it took
oh my God, that's so
moment,
true.
Right. I was like, I'm choosing to be on the street corner. I'm choosing not to be going after playing at amphitheaters and festivals. Well, then, 5 years after, and it's not going to happen overnight, but I can say 5 years after that one moment, and I'm thinking of a very specific moment where I made 2 pennies after playing for like 3 hours in Vegas, hot in the summer. It was terrible. From that moment, 5 years later, I'm playing in amphitheaters, festivals, like all around the globe. And so it takes strategy, it takes structure, but that's what could be possible. And you got to play that long game. I think it's not about those short wins, not about, okay, let me see how much money I can get in my bank right now or this month. It's what kind of legacy am I creating for my family, my life, and what's going to go beyond once I'm gone.
Oh my God, you've got to do singing reels. Do you do that already?
No, but yes.
You've got to do voiceover singing reels. Like 2 or 3 lines. That's going to go viral for sure.
Done. I'm doing it today. Yeah. I love it. Well, thank you so much for being here on the Miracle Moment. There were so many miracle moments that we just shared. And I hope those of you that are listening can really think about this conversation because we tapped into a few different things. Think about one takeaway that you want to have and implement today after this conversation. So where can people find you? Where can they stay connected with you?
So my Instagram is at Tasha Wall Fit, like not Tasha, it's just Tasha Wall Fit. And my website is really easy. It's just tashawall.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And we'll have that all in the show notes for everyone to easily find you. We'll see you all next time. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for checking out this video. Subscribe and ring the bell if you haven't yet so you can stay up to date for new episodes coming out soon. And remember to witness and acknowledge the miracles and magic in every moment. This is Irelan, and I'll see you soon.